Previously on the LCS.
That's my boy.
Yeah! Back. They're gonna go down there.
Oh my god! They got it! Baron finally! Mega Zero! Wow, he puts on the Crocodile Clinic.
Yeah!
Can he still get the damage? Can he get MIA? MIA! They saved the Nexus and there's no minions! They actually held that one off.
Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest story coming into this week is the roster changes.
One more kill! Void blasts the repellent in range! It is there to execute for the double kill! Daydreaming on his first day! It's gonna be a double kill for Brawley. 2 assists on his first game as well.
Oh, Reggie's there. I got Zarya.
They just aced TSM. Vulcan coming in with the fresh squad, the fresh blood, and they're able to take out Team Solo Mid.
Yeah!
If you can't beat them, make them join you. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Week 9 of the North American LCS, live from Los Angeles, California. I'm Rivington Bills III, along with Joshua Jat Leesman. As we get closer to the playoffs, the teams aren't holding anything back. In Week 8, we saw 5 level 1 brawls leading to more than a dozen early kills.
Yeah, but the biggest story coming out of last week was the roster changes. Vulcan got a player transfusion when they injected Giju's Bloodwater into their lineup. That actually forced Giju to call up an LCS rookie Daydreaming to play support.
But it was Complexity's addition of Prolly that had the biggest impact.
Prolly won our MVP last week. He went 20, 12, and 35 in 3 matches. Complexity as a whole went 2-1. Daydreaming did well as well. GG went 1-1. And Bloodwater, even though Vulcan went 1-2, he helped Vulcan beat TSM.
Absolutely, and it was one of those big games last week. Today, Dignitas will be starting with a new lineup. They'll be playing without Crumbs in the jungle when they take on Counterlogic Gaming.
And just to be clear, Crumbs hasn't been benched. It's just a 1-week thing. He is out this week. So DJ Lambo will be in for Dignitas in the jungle. The last time we saw him, he was on Azure for the LCS qualifiers. So there will be a lot of pressure on him because this is a very big week for Dignitas, and this is the first time DJ Lambo has played in the LCS entirely, so they have a chance to catch Curse this week.
The pressure's on, and we've seen a lot of the new guys pulling out some big stuff, so we'll have to see. And that brings us to the standings. Curse continues to control the top spot, but Dignitas is just 1 loss back from a share of the league lead. Team Solo Mid is sitting comfortably in 3rd place, while CLG stays in 4th despite losing their only match last week.
And only 2 wins separate the last 4 teams in the league. MRN is holding on to 5th, ahead of a Vulcan squad who was on a bye this week, while GGU and Complexity are still in striking distance of the final playoff spot.
And with the playoffs just 2 weeks away, today's matches will have a big impact on the seedings. First up, Curse needs a win to stay on top when they face off against Marn. Then Dignitas and their pinch jungler head into the Rift to take on Counterlogic Gaming.
Curse squares off against a revamped Complexity team coming off their best week of the season. And then GGU and Marn battle for control of the final playoff spot.
And that's all followed by the semifinals of the Summer Promotion Qualifier. First up, it's Curse Academy facing off against Summon, formerly known as Square Duck, followed by Quantic taking on Velocity. And just a reminder, time's running out to choose your all-star team. Make sure to go to lolesports.com and cast your vote for your favorite players in each position and help send them to the LCS All-Star Game where they will represent North America against the world.
But you better hurry because voting closes on April 15th, which coincidentally, Riv, is when your taxes are due.
The more you know, Jat.
Yeah, and once you're done picking your All-Stars, hop onto Twitter and tell us which NA LCS Pro's play style has most influenced your game and why.
We're at LOL Esports. Use the hashtag LCS. We'll read the best responses later in the show. Okay, guys, it's our first match just around the corner. It's first place Curse taking on Mega Zero and Marn. Don't go anywhere.
I think overall we're pretty confident against Curse. Always when we scrim them, we've done very well.
We usually feel pretty good against MRN. They're definitely a strong team. All their players have really good individual talent.
I think we come to play, and they're kind of still trying to figure out what they're really trying to do.
Welcome back. It's time for our first match of the day, Curse versus MRN. This game will have a big impact on the standings. A loss by Curse throws them into a tie for first place with Dignitas, while MRN is in danger of falling to 6th if they drop this match.
And Curse has owned MRN 2-0 so far this season. They actually beat them 16-2 in Week 5, and if you combine both the matches, they've had 30 kills, 7 deaths, and 80 assists. So this has been completely one-sided so far this season in Curse's favor.
But each time MRN has faced Curse, they've had a different squad. And this time is no different with the dynamic duo of Neontanso and Heartbeat battling Curse for the first time in the bot lane.
Right. I mean, this change wasn't super recent for MRN, but it is pretty big impact. Last week, Neontanso's Vayne play was instrumental in their victory. He had like 500 minion kills by the end of that. And Mega Zero, another man for MRN, is always a big threat in top lane. But he's struggled so far this season against Curse. Combined, he's 2-7-3 in both games against Curse, so he has not been able to get going. And I like to think of Mega Zero as like a younger yet older Voyboy, and I'll explain that because his playstyle is like Voyboy a couple years ago. But physically, he's older than Voyboy, so he still has a lot of maturing to do in-game to reach that level.
So it's like the aggression in the 2v1, which he's stated he doesn't like, the kind of...
Mega Zero is just so good in the 1v1 environment, which is what Voyboy used to do, and it's what St. Vicious also used to punish him for. So it's right in the wheelhouse of St. Vicious against Mega.
All right. So, and while Mega Zero and MRN have struggled against Curse, Voyboy and crew know that they're up against an underdog with some serious bite.
We're feeling much better about Curse. We have a lot of time to practice with our new roster now.
They're not a team to be underestimated. Even in scrims, they take games off us.
They're like the underdogs that you have to watch out for. Like, they take games off of a lot of top teams consistently.
They like to play very meaty team comps, very objective-oriented team comps.
They do a lot of different stuff, and their playstyle is a bit zany.
We know they like unconventional stuff, so we're just not going to pay attention to what they do, but we're going to work on what we want to do.
The unpredictability is there, but I think ultimately we have them, for the most part, figured out.
And now it's time to check out today's starting lineups. On the blue team, it's Curse. In the top lane is Voyboy. Jungling is St. Vicious. Mid is Nijaki. AD carry is Comp. And in support is Elements.
And on the red team, it's MRN, with top lane being Mega Zero, jungle Claky D, mid Echo, AD carry Neontanso, and the support Heartbeat.
And this, I know our matchup of the day, I believe, is in the CLG dig game between Scar and Ling, but this one kind of holds its own matchups in itself. Like we said, Cop and Neontanso, Mega Zero and Voyboy, if those lanes decide to go head-to-head. This is going to be a battle in each one of these lanes.
Yeah, Neontanso hasn't been able to put up the numbers that Cop has throughout the year just because he hasn't played as many games, but Neontanso has been respected as one of the best AD carries in all of North America. It's just, he is on MRN and he's trying to make them better at this point. It's just a matter of the comfort level for him, right? Because Elements and Cop have been playing together for so long at this point.
Absolutely. Even
since Season 2. But Neontanso and Heartbeat, like Heartbeat hasn't even been playing support for more than a couple weeks because he was the AD carry of MRN before they actually moved Neontanso to the starting lineup. So there's the synergy aspect there.
Well, the fresh swaps have given these teams a bit of new life. We have seen some wins come out that even the teams themselves didn't expect to grab. So they have that momentum under their belt now. With the bans coming out, we do see that Vayne will be taken out of this game from Neontanso, as well as the Shan Global from Mega Zero or Claky in the jungle, because they wouldn't be using that around.
We're seeing more and more Vayne bans, Riv. It's happened mainly against Doublelift, but then Neontanso had a great game as well. You see it all the time over in OGN as well. You see it sometimes in Europe, but Vayne, not allowed for Neontanso. I don't think that's going to be too big of an impact for him. He's played a lot of different AD carries, but it's definitely something that Curse is afraid of. It might have to do with the meaty team comps that Curse likes to run. Vayne has that percent health, true damage.
There you go.
That can shed the meat, cut through the meat. That's the one.
Yes, indeed, and absolutely. We're seeing what they still ban out. Thresh goes to get that support threat out of there as well. Elements has been kind of leaning towards that quite a bit lately.
It goes to show that Elements has been playing well on Thresh, that MRN's at least experiencing a ban with it, because for a while so far this season, Elements was pretty much just the Sona and Lulu player. And he had played Blitzcrank in the past, but he was trying out Thresh. And he played it in 2 of his last 3 games, that is Elements, and to varying effectiveness, but clearly it is enough of a threat for MRN to want to ban it out.
So with Curse putting a little bit of focus on the AD carries and a lot of global positioning here, we'll have to see what MRN can answer with their last ban out, and it is going to be Diana. So they kind of thwart that from Voyboy and Nijaki.
Yeah, at this point, I almost feel like they're somewhat reaching for bans there, or they're just trying to leave things available because we'll get back to that Renekton pick in a sec, but Diana is something that either Nijaki or Voyboy could play, but it's also not something they've played very frequently throughout the year. So that was probably just like, what do we ban? We're hoping that maybe Curse takes a Ryze or something, or a Lulu or Sona early, and then maybe we could get Mega Zero Renekton, but Curse wasn't falling for that because Voyboy essentially took Renekton away from Mega Zero.
Now, for Marn here, in their mind, could you, focus out one person like that to say that's really going to thwart a composition we want to bring to the table?
That's the thing with Renekton, though. I don't really think he has many devastatingly bad matchups.
Right.
So he's one of the top laners, even though top lane is normally a counter pick lane that you don't necessarily know how to counter pick, which is why Curse was safe picking that first. You look at Marn with Lulu and Caitlyn as well. That's really the annoyance combo that these guys like running together. Huge amount of poke, huge amount of lane pressure, and that's what they're going to be trying to do in this game. And really, that does deny Elements his Lulu. Elements will probably end up playing Sona or something of the like. And Caitlyn for Niantanso is actually a really strong pick for him because it will almost make it so Curse can never be aggressive, or Cop can never be aggressive on him because Cop already plays fairly defensively.
And it seems like with this Diana the ban, it would synergize with the picks that Curse is coming out. So maybe Curse still going for the lineup that they want, just not without Diana right now. And Cop probably going to get his Taster's Choice pick here with Misfortune.
Cop picks Misfortune whenever it's up. He has been trending away a little bit lately, sometimes Kog'Maw, sometimes Varus. Misfortune's not the best lane matchup against Caitlyn, so if they pick this, I'd think they'd go for a lane swap. And they took their time on getting that, but they did end up deciding to go for MF. Yeah, so that's not to be a big surprise for Curse or for Marn.
Probably see the Sona coming out for Curse as well. We'll have to see what Marn has on the table. We all know that Echo plays quite a few mids, and we may see that actually coming out.
Ooh, so obviously Claky D is going to be on that Jarvan.
Yep.
He's loved that since the very beginning. And the Malphite coming out, that's going to be a Mega Zero pick. He had an extremely good Malphite game. I believe it was last week. He had, I don't remember the exact scoreline, but it was very, very impressive. And he'll be happy about that. This is the dive comp to punish Cop for playing Misfortune. They need to get through that bullet time quickly and shut it down so their team doesn't get AoE'd out.
Actually, remember this is when Cop was on, I think it was Kog'Maw, that they were able to pretty much just run him over and over and over. So we'll have to see if he has his Misfortune. He has a little bit of escape that she brings with that strut. We'll see if he can make it happen. But Mega Zero is, like you said, going to be gunning for that back line. They have the tank to get in there. We'll see if Curse actually looks like they're getting a lot of peel for their AD carry as well here with Karthus if they pick it.
Yeah, and Karthus is something that's made a bit of a comeback. We saw Vulcan playing it, we saw Reginald playing it as well, and it is something that Nijaki has played in the past. It's a very farm-heavy thing, and it will synergize well with Gank bot lane. I'd almost expect if they're going to go with Karthus to go with Sona as well for Elements, unless they're going with something a little bit crazy here. So this is a standard team comp for Curse for the most part. They want to land a wall, allow Saint Bitches to run in with Volibear's Rolling Thunder, get the flip back, and then Voyboy to follow up, right? Like, that is a comfort thing for Curse. It's actually another fairly meaty team comp, as Echo would like to say, because even Karthus, when he builds that Rod of Ages, and if he goes for the Seraph's Embrace build as well, becomes very difficult to move around. So that'll be pretty good for Curse.
And really, this plays into what Nijaki's been playing a little bit more aggressive lately as well on his Ryze play and everything that he's been bringing to the table. So it'll be cool to see how he takes this into effect and becomes one of those divers with St. Vicious and Voyboy. Is not as usual to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So for Marn, their team strategy is somewhat dive heavy, but they have the poke potential from Lux. So Echo actually picked Lux because he's trying to pick off Nijaki before Nijaki can get into the team fights. So Marn is mostly about laning, with the exception of Malphite, who's going to be the team fight initiator for them. And then, of course, you look at Curse. We touched on it before. Very, very high damage. That's pretty much 4 threats that they're running, and they are a dive-focused team with Cop in the back trying to throw in the bullet time.
So what kind of trouble does a Karthus present, or just the composition that Curse has for a Claky D? How mindful is he going to have to be of ultimates? Because it has to make it that much harder.
Well, the thing that Claky D is going to want to do is focus his Cataclysms in the right spots, because all Nijaki wants to do in a fight is actually just walk into the right position and sit there. He wants to close off part of the battlefield. Luckily, Cataclysm can do a similar thing. So if they can get in positions where Claky D can either ult in or around of Karthus, he can keep them out of those zones, and they'll save themselves in those fights. But it's very tricky to do.
And there's not a lot of actually gap closers for either of these teams besides Voyboy who really can get out of that. So Cataclysm is going to be very effective when Claky D can get it down, and hopefully he will be helping.
He's going to try to help.
He's going to try to help.
in the right way. It's not going to be one of those Chouster killing hotshots in the top lane helps. It's going to be like legitimate helping. ClayKD really wants to keep his team alive rather than help Curse.
All right, we'll just see how much helping as we jump into your first game here, week 9. It's going to be a long day. You better have your popcorn and beverages ready, and you better have your seat nice and squishy because you're going to have to be sitting for quite a while. This is game 1 here of our very long day in week 9. Curse versus MRN. As we start this matchup off, we see a lot of focus from Curse in the bottom lane with 3, as they also send 2's top for a little protection in the jungle.
So we saw bloodbaths last week in our first 2 games. There were huge amounts of fighting. Curse was involved in a fair number of those because they actually don't ward too much at level 1 historically. They have a 3-man scout here down in the triangle brush. If someone walked in here, I believe St. Vicious would actually be able to kill him though. So Neontonso also in a defensive formation. Both teams actually going for low ward starts with very defensive, almost offensive line-like formations. Except Curse now with the 4th stack in the bottom. Maybe they're looking for some kind of delayed invade. We'll have to see how it plays out, Riv.
And really only 1 red pot so far starting out on this game here in week 9. It's going to be going out to Voidboy, so we'll see if he plays that with anything early on Mega Zero. Y'all know Mega Zero loves the 1v1 matchup, and these is where these 2 guys definitely are advanced in their play styles. Ward goes out, so they found out Curse. Very nice ward. They could not take it down.
Yeah, and that's actually Curse could have been in position to kill that ward, but I think they were sitting back in that triangle brush because they didn't really know where Echo was either, and they were worried about a light binding catching them from around the corner. But good scouting out by MRN. Looks like ClayKD starting on the red side of the jungle, and actually neither team has full knowledge of where everyone is starting, but what MRN did accomplish with that ward in the triangle brush is they know that St. Vicious probably started in the red side of the jungle, which is actually going to give Mega Zero a little bit more early game confidence against Voidboy because he knows how far away St. Vicious would be on Volibear.
So coming into this one, knowing how Voidboy and both Mega Zero play, which team does it really affect more when you have to have that jungler focus top?
I think right now it's going to benefit Curse a little bit more just because they're more experienced duo-wise between Voidboy and St. Vicious. If Saint decides to go up there, the nice thing about this matchup for Voidboy is Malphite doesn't really beast on people early, and Renekton does. So even without jungle intervention, I think Voidboy should have a bit of a battle edge on Mega Zero, but I don't even know if we're going to see kills in that lane because both of them have went for teleport, which means they're mainly looking to farm and affect other parts of the map. I really want to see how that plays out as St. Vicious goes bot.
Well, Voidboy already put an early ward down top as, yes, St. Vicious goes for the flash and the flip, but it's a flash by Heartbeat as well, so Touche there. They get out safely. ClayKD looks to counter this, but he has vision, so he's going to work it slow until he finds the position he wants.
So that'll definitely hurt Marn's bottom lane a little bit, but it might help other lanes of Curse as ClayKD catches out Curse in the middle.
Good pressure from ClayKD here. He has both red and blue. He could probably use that to advantage. There's a pop-up. St. Vicious could be going down here. He may try to trade first blood on the bait. The last thing comes in. Oh, they heal from Sona. Elements flash heal. They get first blood on ClayKD, and it goes awry so quickly.
Oh man, that passive from Volibear comes in the clutch. That is one of the reasons Volibear is such a popular pick right now, because you can't really mess with him safely early on. That was a fight that ClayKD probably should have won if you think about it. He was level 3, right, to St. Vicious level 2. He got the jump on him, and he got him low. But because the passive saved him long enough, and because Elements came in for the hero save, flash heal, it allowed them to close it in on him. And it's all because of that passive. It's all because ClayKD tried to make a play and got punished from him. Really good collapse as a team from Curse to save him at the end of the day, though.
Everybody says Curse is really good at making your mistakes, or capitalizing on your mistakes, I should say. And here at 3 minutes in, they have done so to grab first blood, 500 gold in the lead, and that actually gives an assist as well to St. Vicious and Elements as he came up, like you said, for the hero save. Saint now with, I don't know, that was Saint's kill? No, it was Mid's kill, so we got refresh double buff in mid now for Nijackie as well.
Yeah, Nijackie's definitely going to be living off that blue buff. Karthus can't really aggress too heavily onto Echo early, so I'm pretty sure he's just going to be trying to farm this one out. You got to keep in mind Nijackie burned his flash and exhaust in order to get that kill on ClayKD, so he doesn't want to be too crazy. The main thing that benefited Curse for, though, is St. Vicious got a really early Madrid's Razor, which is going to try to clear the jungle extra fast with Volibear on and try to repunish some of those ganks since they burned the flash in the bottom lane in the first place. But really big play for Curse overall, and when Nijackie shops is when we're really going to see that first blood come into account.
Bottom lane cop, I see 26 to 30 in CS as they poke back and forth. You can see Elements really just able to heal up the poke that Lulu Caitlyn brings to the table, so that's not really a super lane push for them there, and you can see his cop just trying to get the CS in where he could be getting the aggression in. here that's Cops, that support CS, or the support AD carry, so he's just farming right now. More than happy to go to the late game.
And look at that bottom lane support items. They all started with nothing but consumables, and they've actually gone through all of them already at 5 minutes. So there's been a lot of early game warding. There was a lot of stuff that happened with that jungle invade and the early flash having to being burned by Heartbeat. So they're going back to base really quickly. You can see Elements has actually shopped first, and Cop has shopped first as well. So this is something you have to keep track of in these duo lanes. If you fall a shot behind the enemy, you're going to get bullied for a little while. That's why Heartbeat is going back at the same time, and that's why Niantanso is mainly clearing that wave. And the decision now is to go back early and keep up in items as Cop, or try to get a bigger CS advantage. And it looks like Niantanso spending the extra time to shove.
And is that a way a team can force another one to play out of their style? If you do have a lead early, you go back. Does that force the other team to have to go back and put them in a bad spot?
Usually, the first person to go back has to be matched. You have to take a pretty big risk if you don't match it. So Curse kind of initiated the buy race because they knew they had enough for the Vamp Scepter and the Health Crystal plus Pink Ward that they wanted. But because Niantanso stuck around longer, he actually got the second Doran's Blade. So even though the team seemed to be behind, and because Elements had an assist, it's not going to work out that way, because when they return to base or return to lane, Niantanso is going to have that 10 AD edge from the Doran's Blade.
We'll see how that factors into the lane. He, like you said, was able to get a bit of CS there. We'll see if he can capitalize on the advantage. Coming up round 7, MegaZero finding some aggression in the top lane as he does not have the ward, and Void Boys just went out, so they made sure St. Vicious came up to save any of a counterattack. It looks like they may find that here from Claky. The Requiem comes out. It may not be enough. It is, though. Claky D is going to have to fend off the rest.
That was the level 6 tick for Void Boy coming in just as St. Vicious came by. And that's one of those things that MegaZero's inexperience hurt him a little bit on. He was pushed up in the lane too far. When Void Boy had hit the level 6, he couldn't use his Unstoppable Force to escape, which would have really helped, and he needed to be sitting farther back in case something like that were to happen.
And you can see how just good, or not good, but happy Void Boy is in that lane. Hasn't even used the red elixir, went back, bought a Doran's. He is just farming that out, pushing it. Doesn't have the ward, so he starts to move around, saving mid, not saving mid for Nijaki, but hooking up that experience, getting himself back into the game. So they're really just moving around the map everywhere, making sure that pressure is held.
And even from the first level 1, well, not level 1, the first blood that happened in the jungle was Curse moving around a little bit better, because that was a situation where Claky D was a little late to the party, right? MegaZero really couldn't have even called for help at that point, and he just ended up losing it. So the item race in that top lane is going to be very interesting, as Void Boy went for the Doran's Blade, as you said, instead of something like Magic Resist, which MegaZero is doing nothing but magic damage to him in that lane. And they know that Void Boy's ultimate is down for a little bit, so maybe Mega will have a window to attack in that top lane, but most likely not.
We'll have to see where the pressure is going around the jungle. You see Saint near that bottom lane. It's going to be Claky D up top, so Saint more than happy to go through here. Those pink wards really giving them the advantage here. And it looks like he is, Niantanso is just right next to him. He walks into it. They still have it. No, Elements is not for the Crescendo, not 6 for Crescendo. But the bite from the bear is just too strong for Niantanso. It's going to be teleport top back in from MegaZero here as he's trying to do a bit of damage. It looks like he may have actually been stopped for that fight, not going in, but going out.
That's what it looked like. I think MegaZero was up there to begin with, and he was going to try to counter gank St. Vicious, but Void Boy had the presence of mind to know what was happening and go for that interrupt. So that gank in general was just really good by St. Vicious. They prepped it with the pink ward, and Niantanso got caught out of position. He should have been hugging that wall.
Blue is taken away from Echo. They're forced to flash here. He misses the light bind. Claky D could be in trouble here. The slow wall goes out. He is going to go down. How much effort they're going to put into this? They are able to get the blue, but they lose Claky.
So far in this game, the cursed destruction of MRN is continuing. They already beat them handily in the first 2 matchups of the year, and they're off to a great start. Not only are they stealing those blues, they've gotten the first 4 kills. They're pressuring pretty much every lane. You can see Nijaki's been the one who's almost roamed around less, but because of his presence and his early level 1 kill, he's the most farmed on the team. Void Boy's beating up in the lane. Even Cop and Elements are doing great thanks to the ganks from St. Vicious. So this is a total team win so far from Curse. Martin really has to do something to get back.
And Void is really giving MegaZero a hard time, and he should. The teleport is down. He knows if he pressures MegaZero, he's gone for the entire time of walking back to lane. Void Boy's teleport is up. His ghost is almost up, and he could probably go in on a fight here soon. Looks like he's actually, still going to put the pressure on.
And these are actually the times of games where Void Boy gets a little, as Void Boy likes to say, hyphy. He goes a little bit out of his comfort zone. He tries to make big plays even though they don't need to. He's got MegaZero low right now, which is why Claky D's coming up to get him, because he was hoping Void Boy went in a little early. I think Martin could have baited that out a bit more, because knowing Void Boy, he was going to be diving MegaZero in about 10 seconds if Claky D didn't show.
Absolutely. I was thinking in my mind, Void Boy is probably sighing that he didn't dive in seeing Claky D, so from both sides. of the coin there. Voidboy backing off, though, knowing that Mega Zero's out of there, but at least they have the jungler vision top. What is St. Vicious going to do? Looks like he's going to farm mid and tax the lane a little.
This is something St. Vicious does a lot of, and in this game, since he's done so much ganking, he's actually about 16 minion kills behind Claky D. But this is not a bad team strategy, because what he's trying to do right now is he's trying to shove out the mid lane because the blue is up for Nijaki. So Nijaki's actually going to go and take that, and they're really just sharing map objectives. If St. Vicious was helping Nijaki with the blue, A, they wouldn't be pressuring Echo here, and they'd also be getting less experience overall. So it's a pretty smart play by Volibear to be in the mid lane while Nijaki takes the blue buff.
And he's actually doing a great job of just harassing down Echo. Echo's still only 3 CS above Nijaki, and he's been out of lane for that entire time. So good little bit of pressure there as they keep it all around the map. We've even seen Voidboy come from the top lane to farm mid as Nijaki went back. So Curse is really just on the move to cover each other.
Yeah, it's the rotations, right? It's something you see more in competitive play because you don't really learn rotation from solo queue. Everyone just kind of does their own thing and selfishly farms themselves.
You'll see top lane late game.
In these games, everyone shares ward positions, they share buffs, they share lanes if they're doing it right. And Curse is one of the best NA teams, which is one of the reasons they're ranked 1 in our standings.
So at 16,000 gold, we have about
Teleport
14,000. The teleport is coming in bot. Mega Zero going hard on this one. He does have the unstoppable force up. They wait very patiently on this. Cataclysm locks in elements. They could actually still have Cop here if they decide to go, but no, it's the teleport in from Voidboy this time. Wild Growth onto him. He can't certainly find a kill. He's looking for the last hit. One coming in there. It looks like he could finish off another one. They're going to go for a full dive here. St. Vicious. That last hit for the passive ticking on for him keeps him alive. Voidboy finally finds the double kill. Ace in the hole does not kill St. Vicious.
Oh, man.
That passive too strong. Cop onto Mega Zero, and now it's just a standoff between Mega Zero. Cop coming in from the side, though. Will Voidboy try to tank this one up? Cop takes the damage from the turret. They're going to trade it off. He might make it out. Oh, Caster Mania's way too strong. Voidboy gets a 3rd kill on the fight.
So a huge win for Curse there. I think Elements died at the start, but that turns into a 4-for-1 for Curse. They countered the teleport with the teleport, and then St. Vicious, even though he was a little late, got there because what happened at the start is Martin was completely willing to take a whole bunch of just auxiliary damage because they knew they had the kill lined up on Elements, and they thought since they had 4 people down there, there was no way the Curse was going to be able to counter that with a gank. They probably forgot a bit about Voidboy's teleport on the creep line in the back, and St. Vicious arrived at just the right time, turning a 4v4 into a huge win since Marn was willing to take all that free damage, getting the first kill.
A very big switch and flip in the game there. Not switch, but very big push in the game for Chris coming off of that one. 4,000 gold is about the lead here at 13 minutes. So the teleports are down. Requiem was down. There's kind of a safe window here for Martin to figure out how they can come back, get some vision on the map here, and pull themselves back into this. And it might be kind of contesting this dragon.
Curse doesn't really want to give him a chance back in the game, right? Because they know that Mega Zero ran straight back top lane when Voidboy was running back mid, so even if there was going to be a contest there, it would be another Curse advantage. They know that in that last fight, everyone used their ultimates, so even though Curse was down ultimates, they're like, whatever, we know we're up in gold, and without ultimates, we're stronger than you without ultimates, because even when you look at the items, it's a Sunfire Cape and a Rod of Ages and a Bloodthirster to just a Vamp Scepter, you know, a Morellonomicon, and an uncompleted Sunfire Cape for Mega Zero, so Curse knows they can force, and they're doing it well.
So was that a good call by Martin to hold off on that? Was it a too soon, and they can come back later, or should they have challenged?
For the Dragon, it's one of those situations where if they could do it again, they probably would have ran down there and tried to like catch Curse in the midst of some Dragon damage, but they'd already sent Mega Zero top lane. So once that happened, there was no way they would contest that Dragon. So based on their prior decisions, their other decision was correct.
Absolutely. Sunfire Cape coming in onto Voidboy after a big 3-0-2 fight for him. He did pick up a triple kill on that last dive we saw as he still put some harassment onto Mega Zero as he slices, dices away. Lock into the Iron Solari onto St. Vicious. Fight ready for him as well. As we look around, actually Wriggles for Claky D coming in through this time.
And this is one of the reasons Sunfire Cape is so good on Renekton and people don't really keep it in mind is Renekton seems like he's all physical damage, because that's what you think. If you build armor, you try to counter him, and that's what Mega Zero is doing. But the Sunfire Cape plus the Renekton ult is a huge amount of damage, and that's why he's been able to harass down Mega Zero so far. A lot of it's just Sunfire Cape ticks, and this is one of those situations where Voidboy's going to try to dive Mega Zero pretty soon, I think.
He's doing a great job at keeping that passive off that just gives him a bit of shield, and like you said, it's going to keep sticking. He's not healing himself in any which way. Echo pushing a little bit down towards mid as Nijaki gets a few more purchases. That needlessly large rod for a spike and damage. That means Requiem has even more presence on the map now with these fights, and it really can turn a bad dive good.
And this is something that Echo's got to do a lot to catch up on, because Echo needs to get to a point on Lux if he wants to actually be threatening, where one binding landed on Nijaki can result in a kill. And for that, he pretty much needs magic penetration and a death cap, and he is nowhere close to that point, so he's got a lot more farm to do. He's keeping up in minion kills, but the overall map pressure just is not there.
And Mega Zero really doesn't even have, not that he doesn't have enough, but he's not buying words for himself because he knows I'm just stuck under my turret. There's probably a way I can get out of this.
Right, so he has his flash and his ultimate. They're going to try to make him burn these because St. Vicious wants to come in for the gank right now.
That teleport's about to be up for both of them as well, so if they can do this, they definitely get a lot of map presence out of it. There's the Requiem coming down, the burst of power, is it enough? And the needlessly large rod picks up Nijaki the kill.
Even though he had about 1,500 range worth of blinks, they got enough damage on him before he could even get away. A well-executed dive, and it was all about the poke that Voidboy put on before St. Vicious arrived there, plus the presence from mid lane Requiem. Even when they did that, because Claky D was again a little bit late to the party, it allowed Cop and Element's bottom lane to push in as well. And there's Voidboy pressuring mid.
Another flash goes down. They are just burdening the fight chances of Marn here. Mega Zero now sits no ult with his teleport up, no flash, so he's kind of struck until he gets all of that back. Curse is really working the timers of Marn right now.
And look at the bottom lane even. They're going to continue to punish this because it's a Bloodthirster versus a Vamp Scepter, and there's not much else that Marn can do. All the other lanes are pressured, so they can't support, and Echo has no flash this time.
Oh my gosh, all your base belongs to us, says Curse, and Echo can't even farm between his turrets. Marn just trading the turret shots as they walk out smiling.
They just cannot keep up with Curse at this point. Voidboy seems to be everywhere. That Ghost Renekton is one of his trademarks, it seems now. A lot of people bring Flash on Renekton, but Voidboy loves the Ghost so we can get that lane-to-lane pressure off. And this is now just a 4-man stack on the bottom turret. Marn trying to defend, but I don't know if they can make it in time.
There's been such an escalation from that Voidboy triple kill teleport bottom. The map has just become theirs. Karthus really 4-0-3 for Nijaki, just putting down so much map presence with Requiem. Marn cannot find a way back into this one right now. It's going to be a slow and steady. It's only 10-1 here at 17 minutes. We've seen a lot longer games, and we've seen them go harder.
And Curse knows that they are really one game ahead of Dignitas in the standings, and that's just in the loss bracket. So they're really coming to play against Marn here, and this is just almost more of the same for them against Marn. I think the last game we mentioned was 16-2 kill and deaths, and this is on the way of becoming that. We're only 17 minutes in. They have an 8,300 gold advantage. That's close to a 50% gold lead right now. And Voidboy, if he runs into Mega Zero, he's got 3 levels on him.
That it's not something you can fight. And Mega Zero didn't even kind of flinch there. He knew he'd probably be blowing his ultimate if he got caught up, and he's just going to farm. Still doesn't have a ward for himself, and these guys need to start putting those little advantages on the map for themselves.
It's really, really tricky for Marn at this point, though, because I don't think anyone on their team can actually win a 1v1 against anyone on Curse. Like, if Elements were to fight Echo or Niantanso, then maybe, right? The support. But you even look at the gold differentials, it's like, there's 4,200 gold on Elements, right? There's 4,500 gold on Mega Zero, the top lane solo from Marn right now. So it's just really a detrimental gold advantage. Everyone else isn't even close. And Voidboy's just sitting on 2,000 gold, deciding what to buy in base.
He actually bought boots. He had 2,900 when he went back.
Yeah, that's just unreal.
So he's like you said, he was 3 levels above. Usually you want to go back and buy. He didn't even have to. His levels are doing it for him.
Right, you actually get a huge amount of gold out of the levels as well. So like not only is he that 2,000, 3,000 gold ahead of Mega Zero, he's got the 3 levels, which is got to be close to 1,000 gold worth of stats. So that's just...
Plus an ultimate of stats.
A lot of it, yeah, plus the ultimate of Renekton, which is just like, I'm a monster with 2 extra Sunfire capes. Congratulations. And it's just Marn struggling and Curse playing exceedingly well right now.
Well, they definitely want that first place spot to stick here. They have earned it, and they are going to try to control that first place wave all the way through to the end of the LCS. As we look around, a Morellonomicon finished up here for Echo. Not putting out the damage they need, though, but they do get some core items under their belt finally. You're really pushing for, it looks like, the Infinity Edge for Niantanso as he got that Scepter early, and it may have set him back a bit.
And look at this. We always talk about the multiplicative nature of AD carry items. Right now, Cop's got the Bloodthirster for the 80 ratio on his ultimate, plus the Last Whisper to just cut through whatever little armor Marn has been able to get with his bullet time. And Niantanso hasn't even completed his first, so he can't even start multiplying because he hasn't gotten his first one yet. Curse needs to continue to keep this pressure up, and they're just going to punish Marn for being so far behind.
It looks like Saint is going to find Mega Zero here. Probably no kill, but a little bit of harass. 20 minutes in, we can see starting to group into that mid lane. It's probably going to be an objective quite soon here, if not just a fight brought out by something St. Vicious or Voidboy starts.
And we'll see how MRN handles this because they're corralled in their mid lane here. The split push or try push continues as Saintfishes and Voyboy see Mega. They don't really care. They know that Mega's kind of screwed, so they're just going to push the lane, I think.
That's like the second time they've just kind of waltzed past each other. They kind of know where this is going. They've been down this road before, but Mega and the team, they want to take that fork in the road this time. They want to find the other way around, take the high road. It's going to be a tough one, but it could be that victory for him here and take down Curse and take that game away from them. I'm sure Dignitas would be quite happy. They're sitting, waiting bated breath right now. Nijaki going to pick up this blue. Again, just denying that resource for Marn. They're just having such a rough game right now, 20 minutes in.
Yeah, Cop actually ended up taking that one because I think they saw the ward over the wall and they were like, they might steal, let's go
Right.
something. Saintfishes with a flip on Mega though. I wonder if they're going to go on this under the tower.
Going pretty hard here. Saintfish is taking quite a bit of damage, but he's not too scared. It looks like they will stick in for the most part of it. And look at, they're just trying to kind of string Marn out here. Push him up to the top, push him up to the mid. Now they can push mid. They're probably going to leave Voyboy in that top lane. Actually, he comes down, so they're putting a lot of pressure here.
Curse actually seems to be taking this one a little bit slow as well because they've kind of been stationed in this spot for, I'd say, the last 2 or 3 minutes. They've killed one of the kind of inner or outer, like middle tier turrets, that's the word I was looking for, on the right side of the map right now. And they haven't made much push for the next ones. I wonder if they're just trying to farm out the lanes and steal the kind of double jungle they're able to accomplish here and get a big enough lead to maybe force an objective because they're all kind of going back to base. They're clearly waiting on something. I just don't know what it is quite yet because they already had the 2 items on Cop. They already had the death cap on Nijaki. Voyboy had already went back and spent all his gold, but they're probably just waiting for the next round of it because they know they're continuing to extend that gold lead based on their map positioning, and they're waiting for the kind of the guaranteed victory.
If anything, in the last bit, Saints ult is just about to come up as they head out of the base here. So they may be letting Voyboy push the bottom lane, soaking up a bit of that extra gold. More wards actually being picked up by everybody in the Oracles on Elements, as he's also had quite a good game, and he's looking for the Athenes as well.
Doesn't even got the boots, but Elements is the Chalice of Harmony support if there ever was one. He builds it on either Lulu or Sona, pretty much any game he can, and if he gets the gold, he will definitely upgrade it to the Athenes on Holy Grail. Just to not, relying on his positioning. Last week he had some rough crescendos that he's got to
everybody's had their share.
He wants revenge for those bad crescendos. And he actually hasn't had an opportunity to land a great one this game because there haven't been team fights.
No, actually, that's very true. Marna's just found themselves out being singled out here 10 times to the one time they were able to come back and grab that one for themselves. But yeah, in those 10 kills, you're right, there really hasn't been a team fight. We haven't seen the potential. Mega Zero and Claky D can land some amazing ultimates that will group up for Lux Laser and really the continuation of damage after Wild Growth. So it's a lot in words and it's a lot to make it happen, but can they? And I don't know, Mega Zero's gonna walk into the bush here. Oh my gosh, they pinch him from both sides as they come in. The Unstoppable Force hits the team, but it hits him on the outside. The bullet time back around. They get Cop. There is the fight potential, but they are just pushed out. Voyboy and Saintfishes not even taking damage. Niantanso can't even get away from these two. They are just walking without even using crowd control. Double kill for Cop. It's going to be a 2 for 3, though.
I gotta say, that wasn't that bad for Marn considering how far behind they were. Obviously, Niantanso got manhandled by the just crocodile and bear running through for him, but Elements didn't get a chance for crescendo. Echo landed a beautiful combo at the start of that fight and completely wiped out Curse's backline just right off the bat, but because Curse had such a big lead, because Voyboy and Saintfishes manhandled Niantanso so heavily, they still get a turret out of it.
There is so much zoning to come from Nijaki, Saint, and Voyboy. We saw the Unstoppable Force pass them, and they were like, all right, let's go. And like you said, Niantanso just ran for his life. 41,000 gold here for Curse, too. 30,000 gold for Marn. 13 to 3. And like you said, doing quite well there to pick up 2 Comp and Elements. But that fight's going to go on quite long when you have that HP bar of Voyboy and Saintfishes. So they got to figure out a way to get that damage now. So they got to hold off, farm it up, and really figure out what objective to go after next.
And I wonder if that fight's going to scare Curse off a little bit just because of how poorly it went, right? They definitely shouldn't have traded 3 for 2 in that situation. It was just the fact that Cop and Elements clumped and allowed Mega to hit the Unstoppable Force into Echo's final spark in that one. And they should feel fairly confident poking around Baron, but mainly looking for a fight because thanks to the existence of Lux for Marn, Echo has the Baron steal potential, which I'm sure they've been watching last week and they saw the Baron steal that Link pulled off in their game. So they're going to be cautious, right? They got to wait on the Karthus Requiem. They're waiting on Voyboy's Dominus, his Renekton, and they're going to try again. And I'm pretty sure if Cop and Elements don't get instantly killed in the next fight, they're going to walk them off.
Absolutely. That's exactly what a 5-0-4 Crocodile, a 2-0-8 Bear, and a 4-0-6 Lich King will do to you. A lot of money coming in on the side of Curse. If they can't use it right in the next fight, like we saw, it could still beat Marn. But can they take out Voidboy? And St. Vish is so big right now, setting up in the bush, and the Oracles is there.
Yeah, and Marn is sitting in a brush that is not warded. They're hoping to catch a straggler coming through for this. They actually might think the Baron is being taken right now. So they're walking through. They're trying to scout it out. They throw the binding in, and there's St. Vish from the back.
Oh, they see Saint, so that's pretty much see everybody. The wall goes out, so they cannot get through. They zone him pretty good, and they start going for Echo. Echo is going to be locked in here. Voidboy in a 4v1 as the team is behind him. He tries to get around Cataclysm, a pretty good laser, but they are still going to be forced out of this. Voidboy is taking on the whole team right now. His Mega Zero is forced to do the same, but Voidboy dashes. Cop takes a shot to the face, but he keeps running like a trooper. St. Vish is looking to get another flip in here. I don't think he's going to get the speed from that Lucent Singularity, and they back off. 14-3, only grabbing one there.
Yeah, Voidboy just went mad mode in that fight, taking on 4, but unfortunately for Curse, they still only got the 1 kill out of it, right? They burned all of their ultimates except for Crescendo. Once again, Element still waiting to find that perfect shot, and they're just going to try to reset this fight, I think, because they know they have the kill advantage. They still have the Oracles from Saint, and the Baron presence still exists, so now Saint's going in again.
Oh, the cooldown's being down. There goes to Whimsy. Will they be able to take down Heartbeat here? The exhaust goes out a lot for just a little Lulu. Heartbeat falls, and it's going to be a 5v1 pressure now coming from Curse.
Voidboy trying to chase down Echo and Niantansa, but this is probably a losing battle. There's the Ghost.
Voidboy in chase. Lucent Singularity is only going to slow him for so long. He dodges the light binding. Echo now running for his life. He's going to try to fit some dragon damage in here if they do get it on, but it's not going to be enough for anybody. Voidboy picks up another kill, 6-0 and 5.
Oh, Curse is just going to pick up this little treat as well at the end of it. So they get 2 kills worth of gold essentially off the dragon after that fight. And only 26 minutes in here. It's already 16 kills to 3. Marn, their backs are through the wall right now. I don't know if they can still push themselves back up from this one. And at this point, Curse has already pulled off a few Baron execution plays. Not too many signs of life coming out from Marn. I'm not really sure what they're going to do here, Riv.
46 to 33,000 is a pretty grim gold score if you're looking at it from the bottom side here. 16-3. Marn loves to be in this position, though. This is where they were coming into qualifying. This is where they were in the qualifiers, and now they're in the LCS. So we'll see if they can thrive in this spot once more. With this little amount of gold, they still have the core items that they need to come out here. If Caitlyn can get some attack speed and they can get enough peel for Niantanso, he is an AD carry that can take out Curse. But it's all about Voidboy right now. Really, Saint's even helping the backside. Voidboy took on 4 people last fight.
And it's also about the items, right? Niantanso's still just sitting on that Infinity Edge. Whereas Cop's completed his 3rd big item. Obviously, Infinity Edge is the most expensive item. But Curse is just taking the Baron. I mean, Marn has been baited throughout this area. They're worried about the fight coming in from the backside, and which is why they were delayed going in for that. Curse spiked it down so quickly with the sustained damage from both Nijaki and Cop that now with the Baron, they might look for a final dive. And let's just touch on these items really quickly. St. Vish just picked up Captain Boots. So when he goes in, the rest of his team will get that move speed buff following him. It's about time someone build those boots. St. Vish always talks about how expensive they are, but because they have such a big gold lead, he was able to pick them up.
And it works perfect with Sona on your backside too, pushing everybody with the aura. Look at some of the other items bought out here. We see Cop having a real good game, went for that static shiv, knowing that he wasn't going to really need all that burst from Phantom Dancer, also putting that split push damage into his kit. So these guys really just feeling good about this game. The Athenes finally finished on elements, and a possible final push here as they start the first inhibitor turret.
At some point, Marn's going to want to engage. They got a lot of poke down on the Voidboy, and they're waiting.
I thought it was going to be a Cataclysm Unstoppable Force follow-up on that. They wait there. That could have been one of their few chances that Curse will really give up. Cop was very far ahead in the lineup there. Elements, like you said, though, waiting for that perfect crescendo, and he was lined up horizontally on them.
Yeah, no matter what they do, they're still going to have to deal with Nijaki's Requiem, right? With the Void Staff, Rod of Ages, and Death Cap coming through on this one, it's like, even if they kill Jackie, everyone's going to lose about half their health. So the little damage that goes, it's coming now.
Niantanso does have the cleanse out of this one. He gets himself to the backside. It's going to be Mega Zero and Clanky D inside the Cataclysm, but they're getting rocked out by Voidboy and crew. Element's coming up with a kill for himself this time. Echo gets bitten out by the bear once more, and we're going to see 20-3 here, 29 minutes. The first inhibitor goes down. Those are some long death chambers, and it looks like they may have the Nexus.
They have such control this entire game. Curse just probably going to tank up some of these turrets. Nobody died in that 4-for-0. Nexus turret's going down. Think they're going to get it.
They added a few more kills on from last time. 20-3 in this 30-minute matchup here for Curse versus Marn in game 1 of the day. Jat, Curse playing very dominant in this one. Voidboy having a great game at 7-0-6 along with the rest of the team. They look to take out the Nexus and take out Marn.
one of the most solid performances we've seen from Curse all year. 3 people on their team didn't even die that game. The only deaths were really from that one team fight, and the other, so there was the one death at the start when they got the 4-for-1 in bottom, and then the Baron dancing around where 2 people died to Echo's Lux ultimate. Aside from that, they played flawlessly. That was so well executed by Curse.
Really, Voidboy, a huge smile on his face when he teleports bot and gets a triple kill for himself. That pretty much kind of ends a lane for Mega Zero. I mean, you can farm in your lane, but you know you can't win it after that point.
It was one of those things. Mega Zero went all the way back to use his teleport, and Voidboy's like, yeah, I can do that too, man. I got teleport. What are you running away for? And he just went and fought him.
Absolutely. So with that, Voidboy and Mega Zero kind of matching up. We got to see the 1v1. Voidboy was able to play quite strong, but Mega not warning for himself up top and did find a little bit of aggression from St. Vicious there. So they knew they had to pressure Mega Zero to make that game go clean.
Right, and let's take a look at that 4-for-1 at the bottom, where the pressure for Curse really took over in this replay. It's a matter of, right now, Elements and Cop are getting ganked by 4 people. What happens here is Elements lands a really good crescendo, and Cop's bullet time actually cuts across all of them. So there was a good crescendo we're talking about. It allowed the bullet time to combo with the Requiem. So even though this was a 4v4, you got to keep in mind the Requiem was like a 4.5v4. Voidboy came in from the back, and all the free damage that MRN had taken from that 2-man gank really just comes to pay here as Voidboy gets all the way behind him, messes around with Heartbeat and Niantanso, and they just corner them in at the tower here, and it's pretty much set for Niantanso here. There's no way he's running past the Crocodile and getting through Cop as well.
And they just dance this out with Niantanso. Such a good part.
Not gonna make it, man.
You do everything you can at this point. Try to walk under the turret and do it, and the caster minions just throwing too much at you.
Yeah, it actually could have escaped that one. He had the really good trap there near the turret, and he managed to make Voidboy jump through it with Slice and Dice, but it wasn't enough because Curse was too well positioned and got too much damage off beforehand.
A lot of too muches there. Worked the advantages, found the win at 30 minutes. Coming up next, St. Vicious from Curse will join us at the desk to talk about their impressive victory, and then Dignitas needs a win to keep pace with Curse when they take on Chronologic Gaming. Don't go anywhere.